Welcome. We are going to be talking about 5 reasons you are not busier in your beauty business. So, I'm going to talk about 5 different reasons why you're not as busy as you could be in your beauty business. Number 5, you are targeting the wrong clientele. I see this all the time. People will ask me like, "Oh, I don't think anybody wants to pay my prices. No one wants to pay as much as I charge for the services I offer." And I say, BS. If you are actually targeting the clientele that represents your business they will pay whatever prices you have. Even if you're in the luxury market or the mid-grade market or even the budget market, there are plenty of people out there as your clients that would be willing to pay whatever it is you're charging. So if you're charging $500 for a set of brows and lashes or whatever the case may be, there is someone out there who's willing to pay, and there's multiple people out there willing to pay. But the reason that you're not attracting them is because a space that is not in line with what that particular clientele expects. If you are charging the absolute highest amount for a service in your area, but your space does not represent that price point, that's a disconnect. And any client that is willing to pay that high price point expects a level of professionalism. They expect a level of, when they walk into the space, to be attracted and greeted in a way that matches up with that price point. And the same goes for even like a budget price point. So I wouldn't say that everything needs to be budget because you're aiming at a budget price point. I would just say that you should go above and beyond and exceed what they are expecting so that the budget falls in line with that demographic as well. Meaning that if you're starting out in a very small space, or if you're starting out of your home because it's just more financially sound for you, don't fall back on being less than professional. Don't fall back on, well, I'm only charging this much, so you only get this. No. Still go above and beyond, still be a professional, still exceed their expectations, because then they're going to be like, oh my gosh, she is so affordable and I get blah, 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 blah. There's ways that you can make whatever you charge line up with the clients you're trying to attract. Number 4, you have to make sure you're a professional. So I feel like professionalism is subjective sometimes. For me, I don't believe it is. I'm in an age group where I expect a level of professionalism depending on what I'm going to get serviced for, I guess, or a product I'm buying, or whatever the case may be. Some things, absolutely, you can just kind of do it whatever, however, and it's fine. People will pay it, no big deal. But in the personal service industry, I really feel like you have to make sure that you are at a level of professionalism with how you communicate to your clients, how you greet them when they walk into your space, your ability to make them feel like your time is well invested in me and I am well invested in you. There's all these little things, this solid picture of you being professional. You are having troubles showing up the way you need to. People can smell that and people can feel it, and they are not going to refer you to their friends, families, and coworkers. Like, they're just not going to do it. So you have to make sure that you are being professional at all times. Bring your best game, even if you're having a crappy day, even if stuff is happening at home and you don't know what's going to happen, you still show up ready and prepared. From 5 all the way down to the number 1 most important video, because I want you to stay and hang with me to the very first one. And if you have not already, please make sure you take a second to subscribe to my channel, because it helps me help you better. So I appreciate you. So number 3 is time management. Oh, I don't know if you're anything like me and you've been someplace where you have an appointment. I'm personally willing to give anybody 15 minutes because that's what I give my clients. Offer that courtesy of timing of 15 minutes. Like, I don't necessarily expect clients to show up 15 minutes or more before their appointment or 15 minutes later than their appointment. After 15 minutes, we are rescheduling. So if I show up someplace and I have an appointment, I expect to be served within 15 minutes. I threw all of your clients in a day. Space them out differently then. Like, I don't understand what the big deal is. Like, you need to make sure you are still sticking to time management skills, because sure enough, if you show up someplace and they have like a late policy, or we're charging you $50 if you show up late, okay, then that should be reciprocal. That if I show up on time and you are late, give me my $50 because my time is just as valuable as yours. So you have to be on it and understand how much time it takes for you to execute every single service that you offer, and you need to understand any type of buffers that you need at the beginning of the appointment or at the end of the appointment. That way you know that, okay, I know that when I do a full set of nails, it takes this amount of time. Even if I go over by a little bit, give yourself a little bit of buffer cushion. That way, every single appointment runs smoothly. You need to make sure you show up at least 30 minutes before your client's appointment time, because again, some clients like to be prompt. Prompt meaning if they're on time, they're late. So they will show up 10 minutes before their appointment. If you don't show up till 10 or 15 minutes before your appointment, guess what? Now you look unprofessional. Now you look unprepared, and you're not ready to take on your day. So I always suggest, especially if anyone who is working with me and myself, I show up at least an hour before every appointment so that I can get in the right headspace, so that I can go through and make sure everything is the way it needs to be, set up all of my systems so that I'm ready for my day. I'm absolutely ready no matter what time my client gets here, unless they get here an hour before. And that's happened before too. And I'm like, dang, girl, dang. Can I get here and set up and have my moment? So just make sure your time management is on point and practice it. Get in a routine so that every time with, a little bit of buffer time, you are running on time and smooth. Number 2, you're spending too much time on social media. You're putting a lot of focus on social media. If you're spending a lot of time there and you're not seeing a lot of booked appointments, your clients aren't there to look for you to book appointments. They're there to socialize, to have fun, to laugh, to be educated. Use social media for what it's designed for. Don't get me wrong, if you are blowing up on social media and you just book out through that way, then we're probably not a good fit. My videos probably will not help you. That is a disclaimer that will carry out through all of my channel. I am speaking to the ones who are like me, that social media just isn't it for us. We have not found the way to connect with the algorithm enough or connect with an audience enough to gain that traction that some people are able to get. And that's okay. Some people are designed for it and some people are not. I am not, so I found another way to grow my business without social media. I put very little focus on social media. Sure, I post, sure I'm there making reels, sure I'm there doing whatever, but I do it very inconsistently and I do not rely on it to book consistent appointments. I just don't. Every once in a while, someone will find me on Instagram or through Facebook, but guess what? I can't grow a business and I can't live my lifestyle on every once in a while someone finds me on social media. It's just not happening. And at this point, I've grown my business to the point where you would think, oh yeah, I'm hitting it on social media, but I'm not. So it's always been, I have to find alternative methods. And that's why I share what I share with you, because if social media isn't your thing and you're not finding consistent clients on there, it's probably because you need to look at other methods, i.e. Google and your website, period. And that leads me to the very most important step of all. Having a website is your number one source of getting busier. If you're focusing on the channels that are not social media, you're focusing on Google search, you're focusing on your search engine optimization, you're focusing on showing up in your Google business profiles, it's going to lead them to what? A website. If you don't have a website, there's no place to take that traffic to. There's no place to get that permission marketing so that you can stay in touch with them. And there's no place for them to really get a good vibe and sense of who you are, what you know, and how you can educate them on the services you provide. But I want to stress how important having a website is. If you do not have a website, there is no excuse. There's so many platforms out there now that allow you to create a website for free and allow you to use templates, so you can just kind of drag and drop your content in there, drag and drop your pictures in there, put in your contact information and hit publish. So anything that I've covered today in this video, I hope it's been at least a little beneficial. If you ever have questions on anything that I share, go on ahead and leave them in the comments. I respond to every comment that I get and I enjoy connecting with you in that way. So Thank you so much for watching. If you have not subscribed to my channel, please go ahead and do so right there. Thank you so much. I'll see you on the next.